Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I hope you guys are doing well. So a few months back, I created one full stack application on PNR component. So the idea was simple. When you try to fetch the details for your PNR, it was giving the status for everything related to that PNR. Okay. But I created that component. I created that application using class component in React.js. Okay. But I saw a lot of comments. So if you have not seen that video, I'm just going to put that in the description, as well as I will be just putting that on the I button. But let me cover some brief about the application. Okay, so this is the component, PNR component, which was built in a class component. Okay, and then we have this CSS. So we are not going to touch the CSS part today. So let me run this app first. Okay, and then I will talk more things parallelly. So in order to run any React app, you just need to write npm start. Okay, so it has just started the development server. Okay, I will just take 2 minutes to give you a brief about it. Okay, so this is the URL. Okay, so this URL is not the actual URL. Okay, so what I have done is I have created one simple mock method here. Okay, if you see, this is the JSON file which we are taking help of, and if you go inside the employee controller, okay, this is the basic method I have created. So for this PNR, you are going to get the details. So let me simply run this API, and I will try to hit that API from there. Okay, so this is my get PNR details API endpoint which we are using there. So if you try it out with the PNR number, okay, this is going to provide you the details in the JSON format. Okay, so let's try to hit this. Okay, search. So here you go, you got the details. Okay, so if you write some unknown or some incorrect PNR, it's going to throw you the error as well. So it has thrown, please enter the correct PNR. Okay, so not many things are going to be changed. The few things which are going to be changed, which we can cover parallelly. Okay, so let's create a component, a functional component for this. Okay, a new file. Let's create a functional PNR COMP. Okay, dot js. Great. So let's import React here. So import React from React. Then we need Axios as well. Okay, so import Axios. And then if you see here in the class component, we were using state, but here in the functional component, we are going to use one hook that is called use state. So we can import use state hook here. Okay, so import use state from React, and then let's create a functional component. So const, let's give the name of the component, what it is. Let me just take the name. Okay, you can create with another name as well, but I find it good. So we are going to use the fat arrow function. Okay, and guys, one more difference if you see, so here in the class component we were using render function that is not required in the function component. Okay, so we can simply use the return. So let me just write return. So inside this return we can use the diff what we have written in the class component, but we will be changing certain things that you can. Okay, so this is our diff, so we can simply copy it in the function component, right? So that's all guys, but here we have to change a lot of things. Okay, so let me see what we can change here first. So let's see, when someone enter the PNR, here it is using this .state.pnr number, and then it is setting the value by calling this handle change function. Okay? So in the function component, things are going to be the different. So we'll be using hook use state. So we can write something const PNR comma set PNR. Okay, and what is the initial value for this? Initial value is going to be empty string. Okay, we can simply give this. So simply if you see, we are just going to use the use state for all these things. Okay, so we'll do it one by one. So this is for the PNR, and then let's see what is the next thing. So how you can set the state of this PNR. So we'll be implementing this handle change function. Okay, so let's see how it will be different from the class component. Okay, so in class component we were writing like this. So we can copy this. Let's go to the function component. Here you have to write const handle change. Okay, and then event is fine, but this is not how we'll be setting the state. Okay, so this is how you can set the state. So let's use this set variable set PNR, and then we can simply use event dot target dot value, right? So this is how we can set it. So let's see how you can supply the value here. So you obviously we are not going to use the state anywhere in this component. Okay, so you simply are going to that PNR, and then here we are also not going to use this. So simply write the handle change method here. Okay, and this handle change we already have implemented, so that this line is fine. So when someone click on the button, we are using this dot handle submit method. So we'll remove this part and we'll be implementing this function. Okay, so as of now, let me just write it as dummy one. Launch handle submit. Okay, add arrow function. That's it. Okay, we are going to implement this function. We have to use all these things here. If you in handle submit, all these things are there where we are calling the API. So those things we are going to implement it. But before that, let me set some basic stuff. Okay, so if you see here, it is checking for each error. So let's say if someone entering the wrong PNR, then this value will come into the action. So let me do one thing. Let me just use as well. So we can write const is errored. Okay, simply write is errored and then state is errored. Okay, and we can use the use state, and what is the initial value we can check from here. Okay, so for is error occurred, it is false. Okay, so we can simply give it as false, right? And then we can replace it here. So this one will become this, and then we have another variable as error message. Okay, so we need to display the error message as well. For that also we are going to use the use state hook const error message and then set error message. Okay, so what is the initial value for this? I think it should be empty string. I'm not sure, but yeah, error message is empty string. That is fine. So up till this we are done, but again we have so many other variables. Okay, we are using this passenger status and then we are using this PNR details. Okay, so let me see what is left. Okay, so PNR number we have covered, I guess. So I think we have not covered this on button click and these two. Okay, so let me just take the PNR details and passenger status. Okay, let me go to the function. Let me write the user statement as well. So maybe we can write PNR details set details, and then initial values are empty array. Okay, so we can write like this, and the same goes with I think passenger status as well. Like this, can use it path. Now guys, if you see, we have to replace this PNR details and passenger status. Here we have PNR details, right? So as I said, we are not going to use the state, so you can simply replace all these things with PNR details. Okay, okay, now let me replace the passenger. So that is fine, we are done here. One thing we need to replace is error message. The error message, this one will be, so that's fine. Now guys, I think we are left with the implementation of this function handle submit. Rest other thing looks good. Okay, no, here we have to replace this with on button click. Let me see what we are doing in the handle submit. Okay, so we are setting the state of certain things. Okay, when someone click on the button, we are resetting it to the initial values, because if you see, we are updating all those things. So let me just copy this entire thing. Let me just go to the function component, the state. Simply let me just comment it out. Okay, and we will be seeing how we can. So simply, if you see PNR details, they are setting it to empty. Okay, so we can use this set PNR details. Okay, then we can. Okay, so we are setting it to empty one. Now what is the next thing? They're setting the passenger status to empty as well. So what we can do is this set passenger status, and then we can set it to this as well. Now they're setting the error message to this as well. Set error message, set error. and we can do empty. Okay, now is error occurred, they are setting it to false, so we can use it is error occurred, it to false. That is all we have done. So we have done this part. Okay, now let's see. So this is fine, we can use this in function component, but not this. So instead of PNR number, what we are going to use PNR. Okay. And execute.request. Okay, this is state. So this dot state we are not going to use. Okay, so let me just comment it. We can comment it out and see what we can replace this with. So first they are trying to update this PNR details. Okay, so we can set PNR details and we can pass this here. Okay, const data. So we are updating this. That's okay. Then passenger status. Okay, so we'll be using set passenger status, and then we can pass this response as it is. Okay, it looks. Now on button click, they are setting it to true, so we can use set on button click and we can simply make it to true. So this is how we can set the state in React function component. Okay, so if you see if something goes wrong, let me remove this around it as of now. So guys, if you see in the catch block, if something goes wrong, they are setting the error message and is error occurred. So we can set it as well. Let me just comment it out and see how we can set it. So error message, right? So we can write set error message, and what we are setting this with, please enter this. Use exact same thing. The next thing is error occurred. Okay, so we can use set is error occurred, and then what they are doing is they are setting it to true. Okay, so that's done. I think nothing is left now. Okay, so I think we are pretty much covered everything. We have converted the class component to function component. Okay, let me just export this function component and try to call it. So we can write export default, and this is the component name. And then let's go to app.js. We can import this component from here. So import, what's the component name? So probably functional PNR component, and then let's get rid of this component. As of now, I simply want to call this function component. So let me call this. Okay, done. Now let me go to the terminal, new terminal, kill the existing terminal, and let me just use npm start. So here we go, we have our app. Okay, so what we can do is we can simply take this PNR and see whether it's working on. Let me just put this search. So here you go, it is working. Okay, so which means we have successfully built this component using the function component. Now let me put the wrong PNR and see whether it's throwing me the error as well or not. So if you see, it is throwing the error as well. Now guys, if you want to see whether this application is working for the real PNR or not, then I can show you. Okay, so let me just take the actual URL of the IRCTC. So this is the URL. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me just kill this terminal. Let me go to this place, and this is my URL. Okay, from the IRCTC. Come on, I don't let it. Okay, parameter is fine, but we need to add the headers as well. Okay, so let me just take the headers as well. These are your headers, so we can simply use it here. Let me open one website which gives me the status of my PNR. Okay, that is a genuine website. So let me no, check. Let me see which website can give me. Okay, I can use this probably from the confirm ticket. Let me use my PNR. Okay, I have booked one ticket. 2 6. Okay, so if you see, the booking status was this, current status is this, but they have not assigned me coach position because this was confirmed later, I guess. Okay, so I'm just going to use the same PNR and try to search in my application. Let's see what it gives. Okay, no space, search. Come on, it's not giving me the data. Why? Probably, guys, the rapid API endpoint is not working, or maybe I might not have access to it. Okay, and here, so this is this. Let me test the endpoint. Okay, so yeah, see what is the API we have. Okay, so get PNR status. That is fine. Subscribe to test. I'm subscribing to basic. Okay, subscription is done, guys. Endpoint. Let me go to the endpoint. Okay, let me test the endpoint by putting the PNR, right? PNR. So put it here. Let me test the endpoint. Let's see what is the response I got. Okay, it is working correctly. Okay, guys, so we can take this URL and replace in our app. Okay, so let me test this app. Okay, and then what is the next thing? We can replace the headers as well. Go to the code, and this want this. I want. Okay, so now let me just restart the terminal, and I believe it will work in real time. npm not. Oh yes, let me start this on 3001, and now let me just take this PNR. Okay, and let's go to this. Let me search it. Here you go. Giving me the correct response. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you might have learned something. So please do not forget to subscribe our channel. Until the next video.